and all of them with fear, money, job. All of these things are more important than honor, liberation for your people, or your own dignity as a human being. Cowardice and treason are easy. Truth, justice, and liberation are hard. They are a struggle. Every day, TV, news, magazines, radio, all reinforce colonialism. Even KPFK, Pacifica, and the liberal progressive media are part of maintaining white supremacy and colonialism. You don't hear Amy Goodman or Noam Chomsky advocating the immediate end of colonialism and the total liberation of the Nicanflaca, the return of the lands to the indigenous people, the return of all of what has been stolen from us. All of what has been stolen from us, not just some reservation or some piece of land, this whole continent, the north and south of it, all of it needs to be liberated, returned to us. These entities are not for the end of colonialism here on this continent. They are not for the return of the wealth of resources to the Nicanflaca, to all of the indigenous people of this continent. Our ignorance is reinforced every day of every year in our lives, in school, media, at work, in the culture that rules our lives, in our homes. Every year, we Nicanflaca are bombarded with genocidal negative knowledge, cultural castration, cultural rape, and the humanizing of our very being, the disrespect of our humanity. It begins with September 16th, the false independence. This was the independence of the white supremacist Spaniards who now rule all of the Spanish-speaking settler states on this continent. Hidalgo was not one of our people. He was a criollo fighting for white supremacist rights. Simple fact, simple truth, unknown by most of our people. National Hispanic Month. Do I have to say more? Okay, National Hispanic Month with piñatas, enchiladas, pyramids, mariachis, and they call this Hispanic, the things of Spain. October 12th. Celebrating Columbus. It's like Jews celebrating Hitler. And the same October 12th, it's also the day of the race, Dia de la Raza. We celebrate the rape of our people. We celebrate genocide. We celebrate our enslavement. We celebrate our Holocaust. All of this we celebrate as great things that happened to us. What ignorant fools we are. October 31st. Here we are forced to participate in European culture and European perversions of their own religion. Halloween is what used to be All Saints and All Souls Day. Then we have November 1st and 2nd, Dia de los Muertos. This was another one of those switch and bait things where they tried to use one of our series of days to remember our dead in the month of August, and they switched it on us. They raped the days with Jesus, and they desecrated our heritage. These days were to remember our dead. The original days were in August to honor our ancestors. Now we dishonor our ancestors by desecrating sacred days. November 20th, Dia de la Revolución, Day of the Revolution. This is to celebrate the triumph of the Mexican Revolution. But actually, the criollos have taken everything back. They undid most of what was not a revolution, but a civil war between Nicanflaca interests and the criollo interests. Thanksgiving. Today, this day, is when thieves celebrate all that they have stolen. We gave nothing to Europeans. The Europeans stole every inch of land that they now hold. Pilgrims were white supremacists, thieves, savages, rapists, genocidal beasts. Next is December 12th. This is the day of the Virgen de Guadalupe. This is a celebration of the victory of Christianity with the fraud of Guadalupe. This is a celebration of the destruction of our theology. And then December 25th and January 1st, you know about them. In order to confront all of this successfully, we need to do this in an organized way, in a way that is about truth and justice. It needs to be educational and confrontational. It needs to demand total liberation for all Nicantlaca. But we have to start with truth, courageous truth, and heroic demands for justice and total liberation as a united people with our allies in the African community and our allies in the European progressive communities. Let's start the ungiving with Thanksgiving. We didn't give anything to the Europeans. Let's start with that. Let's fast on Thanksgiving and rename it ungiving and gather to remember the theft and genocide. We need to remember our Holocaust and our need to be a free people. The rest of the year, we can say no to Santa Claus, and no to Jesus and Mary, and no to greed. Say no to European time frames by stepping out of line and saying no to New Year's and their celebration of their time, their culture. This is part of genocide when you participate in any of these holidays. We should be gathering to educate, motivate, unite, organize, set a timetable for the spreading of truth and demanding of justice. We should use the paid holidays of Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's to build strength, to inspire, to cleanse ourselves of the culture of white supremacy, the culture of greed, the immorality that is all around us. We should gather to study, to teach, to reflect, to build discipline. We need to learn to rebel intelligently, to confront the language of genocide, to educate the world on the need for truth and justice on this, our continent. We need truth and justice for the whole world, truth and justice even for white people. They are our brothers and sisters. They too need to know truth and justice. They too have been dehumanized by their own lies. This is the planet of the human beings, but we all need to be respected, to mutually respect, to be free from the oppression of one over the other. So let's stop the lies and injustice, end the criminal economic system of capitalism, enough of the immorality in which we live, stop the genocide, death to white supremacy, death to colonialism, end the occupation of our continent. We begin by confronting these European holidays that are a genocide on our people. And we will end with truth and justice, total liberation for all Nicantlaca on all of our lands, on all of our continent. That is not impossible. That is totally doable. If we believe in truth and justice, if we bring truth and justice into our lives. Thank you.